Now, as you could imagine, with any discussion of Satan and fallen angels existing and seemingly being able to roam around the universe, this will inevitably bring up a big question. And AOC Network is far from a conspiracy channel, but the question can't really be avoided. What about all of the unidentified sightings of objects that people report? Are they all fabricated? Or is it possible that some of these sightings are manifestations of fallen angels?
Alone in the universe. A UFO in the form of a bright light is seen descending over the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. The video is said to be taken over the weekend. Another video from a different angle.
וואו! שלמה שם, תראה.
U.S. senators received a classified briefing about UFOs at the Pentagon. You may have heard that pilots and other military personnel have been reporting these kinds of sightings for years. A couple weeks ago, the Department of Defense even released footage shot by a Navy Super Hornet pilot.
Senator Mark Warner, who is the vice chair of the Intelligence Committee, said, look, I think it's important. He told us just this afternoon, I think it's important that the military is taking this more seriously now than they did in the past. So what are they taking seriously? Those videos you were talking about, where these pilots were describing seeing these things up to 30,000 feet in the air, flying at extraordinary speeds, hypersonic, well over the speed of sound, changing direction in the most astonishing ways, and seemingly defying the laws of physics.
I know you think that the government didn't take the threat seriously enough, so let me just ask you point blank the question. Do you believe that life from somewhere else, while you ran this program, came here, visited, observed?
I will tell you unequivocally that through the observation, scientific methodologies that were applied to look at this phenomena, that these aircraft, we'll call them aircraft, are displaying characteristics that are not currently within the U.S. inventory, nor in any foreign inventory that we are aware of.
So I know you're being clear, but I mean, the answer is yes.
I can't speak on behalf of the government. Obviously, I'm not in the U.S. government anymore. My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone, whatever that means.
Now, if we are going to talk about this, we must first consider something very, very important. We must consider what exactly fallen angels are. We know that fallen angels were at one point angelic beings who were on God's side. And scripture shows that angelic beings have a special type of body, a spiritual body. What is a spiritual body? A spiritual body is a type of body that can not only exist in the physical world, but can also interact with the spiritual world. We talked about this in the How You Will Look in Heaven episode, and in that episode, we explored the scriptures that speak on how Jesus was resurrected in the spiritual body that one day we all will have. And that same body is very similar to the type of bodies that angels have. It's a body that can literally exist in two different realms at once. Basically, this type of body could go through physical objects and then become physical again. When Jesus was resurrected, he was able to do this. At one point, he walked through a locked door and then occupied physical space again and ate fish. And he was not hindered by anything. He was not hindered by space or time. And so the spiritual body is incredible. And so the question that we really have to ponder at this point is, do fallen angels still have that spiritual body that angels possess? Or were they stripped of that body after they left God? Something to think about. Share in the comments what you think about that. I do think that you could make the argument that when those angels chose to leave God, maybe they lost some of their power and beauty. In fact, there are many who argue that evil possessed them and that they changed somehow to something much more sinister. And so, yes, you could make that argument, but I would still say that I lean towards fallen angels not just being spirits, but still having a spiritual body in some capacity. And one reason for that leaning is because in Revelation 12, it says that they were in a battle with the holy angels. They lost eventually, but they were still able to put up a fight. And so that indicates that they still must have some type of a supernatural body to even be able to go to war with God's angels of light. Because fallen angels have that angelic body. And the angelic body is really described as an interdimensional type of existence. For example, if you had an interdimensional body, you would not have to even travel at light speed to get to a far place in the universe. If you had an interdimensional body, you would be able to move in and out of dimensions and even through portals to traverse the universe and even beyond. And so it's really above our level of understanding. I mean, we are really talking highly advanced angelic stuff here.